Yo, a pilot? The entire dinner table exploded into laughter that Thanksgiving night in 2009. Uncle Ray actually choked on his beer, tears streaming down his red face, as he pointed his fork at 15-year-old me. My cousins were doubled over, slapping the table so hard the cranberry sauce jumped. Even my dad let out that weak, embarrassed chuckle, the one that said, "Please, Emma, just stop embarrassing us." I didn't cry. Not there. I just stared at my plate and felt every single laugh carve itself into my bones like a tattoo I would wear for the rest of my life. But inside my chest, something snapped awake. A quiet, cold voice whispered, "Watch me burn the sky down and make you all choke on those words." My name is Emma Walker, and this is the true story of how a broke trailer park girl from the wrong side of Nashville became one of the youngest female Black Hawk pilots in the United States Army. And how, 12 years later, I landed that helicopter right in front of the same people who laughed, stepped out in full captain's uniform, looked Uncle Ray dead in his stunned eyes, and said only 6 words, "Told you I belonged in the sky." This is not a fairy tale. This is blood, blisters, bankruptcy, betrayal, broken hearts, broken ribs, 4 a.m. nightmares, and a revenge so sweet it still tastes like jet fuel on my tongue. Let me take you back to the beginning. Every raw, ugly, beautiful second of it. I was born in a single, wide trailer on Dickerson Pike, where the planes flew so low you could read the numbers on the belly if you stood on the roof. Mom waitressed at the Waffle House on Trinity Lane. Dad drove 18-wheelers and was gone more days than he was home. We never had heat in the back bedroom, so I slept in my coat from November to March. But every night at exactly 10:17 p.m., the Tennessee Air National Guard F-16s would scream over our roof doing touch and goes at Berry Field. The windows rattled, the dishes danced in the cabinets, and I would run outside barefoot in my pajamas, look straight up, and feel those afterburners light something inside me that has never gone out. By age 7 I had every aircraft identification card memorized. By 10 I was sneaking into the airport fence with stolen bolt cutters just to touch the cold metal of a parked C-130. By 12 I was mowing lawns, cleaning horse stalls, and scrubbing grease traps at the diner, so I could pay for Discovery flights at the little strip in Smyrna. The instructor, an old Vietnam vet named Gus, let me take the yoke for 30 whole seconds on my 3rd lesson. When we touched down, he looked over and said, "Ked, you've got hands like you were born with wings glued to 'em." I cried the whole way home. But dreams are expensive when you're poor. High school was its own war. The guidance counselor actually laughed when I said I wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. "Emma, your math SAT is a 490. They want 700 minimum, maybe community college." My classmates nicknamed me Jet Trash. Someone keyed TRILRTOAOKKP lol into the side of Mom's rusted Corolla. I worked 3 jobs: Waffle House graveyard, Kroger cashier, and weekend stable hand. I slept 4 hours a night, studied under the buzzing fluorescent lights of the 24-hour laundromat, because it was warmer than our trailer. Every dollar went into a coffee can labeled "A for Edom," hidden under my bed. By senior year I had all 11,437 and a dream nobody believed in except me. Then came the first real punch in the face. I didn't get into the academy, or ROTC scholarship, or even the state university with the aviation program. My SAT never climbed past 1080, no matter how many times I retook it. The recruiter at the Air Force office looked at my file, looked at me in my second hand blazer 2 sizes too big, and said the words that almost ended me. "Sweetheart, maybe the military aviation isn't for girls like you." I walked out of that office, sat in the parking lot, and screamed until my throat bled. That night I almost gave up. Almost. Instead, I opened my laptop and Googled every single possible back door into becoming a military pilot. And there it was, The Warrant Officer Flight Training Program. The Army's dirty little secret. You don't need a degree. You don't need perfect test scores. You just need to be unbreakable. The requirements looked impossible: 1,000 hours of flight time, or a college degree. Or, you could enlist, crush every physical test they throw at you, volunteer for every shitty job nobody wants. And maybe, just maybe, they'll send you to flight school as a warrant officer. I enlisted the next morning. Basic training at Fort Jackson was hell-crafted just for me. The drill sergeants smelled the desperation on me and decided to break me. They called me Princess Pilot and made me crawl through the red mud until my elbows bled. One of them screamed in my face, "You think you're gonna fly helicopters? You can't even do 10 proper push-ups, private!" I did 20 that night in the bathroom until I puked, then did 20 more. After basic, I volunteered for airborne school, just to prove I wasn't afraid of heights. Broke my ankle on the 3rd jump. Finished the 5th jump on a swollen purple foot because quitting wasn't an option. Got my wings pinned on with a safety pin because the swelling was too bad for the real ones. Then Fort Campbell, Kentucky, home of the 101st Airborne, the Screaming Eagles, and the hardest aviation training pipeline in the world. Flight school is where they separate the dreamers from the survivors. Day 1 they lined us up, 120 candidates, only 11 women. The commander walked the line, looked us each in the eye, and said, "Half of you will quit. A quarter of you will fail. The rest of you will wish you had. Look at the person to your left. Look to your right. In 12 months exactly one of you will still be here. The rest of you will be pumping gas back in whatever shithole town you crawled out of." He stopped in front of me. "Private Walker, I see here you're a high school, only enlistee. No degree, lowest entrance scores in the class." He smiled like a shark. "You're gonna be gone by Christmas." I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Yes, sir. I'll be the one pinning wings on the rest of them by Christmas." The entire class laughed, even some of the instructors. They stopped laughing 6 months later when I was ranked 81 in primary flight. But let them laugh. Every chuckle was fuel. Flight school is 60-hour weeks of pure terror. You fly hungover from studying, study hungover from flying. You puke in your helmet on your first aerobatics flight, and keep flying. You solo after 12 hours and almost kill yourself on crosswind landing. Your instructor screams, "I have the aircraft." So many times you start hearing it in your sleep. I flew with a guy named Chief Warrant Officer Ford Delgado, a legend who'd flown Cobras in Fallujah. On my 3rd flight he looked over and said, "Walker, you fly angry. Angry is good. Just don't let it fly you." I didn't listen. I was too busy proving every single person wrong. There were nights I sat in the latrine, crying so hard I couldn't breathe, because I'd failed a check ride by half a point. Nights I almost called Mom and told her they were right. I couldn't do it. Nights I stared at the razor and wondered if the sky was worth this much pain. But every morning I got up and did it again. Harder, meaner, better, and slowly. So slowly I almost couldn't believe it. The numbers started changing. My check ride scores climbed. Instructors stopped rolling their eyes when I walked in, started calling me Walker instead of the girl. Then came the relationship that almost destroyed me. His name was Ryan. Another WO candidate, tall, Carolina accent, could charm the stripes off a sergeant major. We fell stupidly, dangerously in love between simulator sessions and 5A PT. He told me I was his sky. I believed him, until the day I found out he'd been sleeping with a lieutenant from supply. Walked in on them in his barracks room. He looked up, not even ashamed, and said, Come on, you're married to the aircraft." I needed someone who was actually here. I didn't cry. I punched him so hard I broke 2 knuckles on his cheekbone. Got Article 15. Almost kicked out of flight school. Sat in the commander's office with ice on my hand, while he screamed that one more mistake could end everything I'd bled for. I looked him in the eye and said, "Sir, if you kick me out, I'll re-enlist tomorrow and be back here in 2 years. You can delay me. You can't stop me." He stared at me a long time. Then he signed the paperwork to let me stay, with 200 extra hours of remedial flight time. I flew every single one of those hours with a hand that still wouldn't close into a fist. Landed every single one perfectly. 2 weeks before graduation, the list went up. Only 38 of us left out of 120. My name was on it, number 1 in the class. The day I got my wings was the first time I let myself cry in 4 years. But the best day, the day I still dream about, was still coming. July 14, 2021. Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Family day for the 101st Aviation Regiment. I'd sent the invitations myself. Hand-written. To every single person who'd laughed at that Thanksgiving table 12 years earlier. Mom thought I was just a regular soldier. Dad hadn't seen me in 2 years. Uncle Ray actually RSVP'd with a laughing emoji. "Can't wait to see what desk job they gave you, kid." They flew in the night before, stayed at the Holiday Inn, probably spent the whole drive making jokes about how I was probably pushing papers in some office. The ceremony was held on the main airfield. Thousands of soldiers in formation. Families in the bleachers. Heat so thick you could chew it. My family sat in the VIP section I'd arranged. Front row, dead center. The commander began calling names for promotions and awards. They clapped politely, checked their phones, whispered to each other. Then the loudspeaker crackled. Ettins. Every soldier snapped to attention. A formation of Black Hawks appeared on the horizon, flying nap of the earth, rotors thundering like Judgment Day. The lead helicopter broke formation, came straight in, flared hard, and settled onto the tarmac in a storm of dust and jet wash. The crowd went silent. The crew chief dropped the ramp. A senior officer marched out, stopped in front of the bird, and rendered a crisp salute. "Good morning, Captain Walker." I stepped out, full flight suit, helmet tucked under my arm, captain's bars shining on my shoulders, aviator wings gleaming on my chest, 101st Combat Patch, Air Assault Badge, 2 tours in Afghanistan under my belt. I walked down that ramp like I owned the sky. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Dad's eyes filled with tears he'd never shed in his life. My cousins looked like they'd seen a ghost. And Uncle Ray's mouth actually fell open so wide his toothpick dropped to the ground. I stopped 10 feet in front of them. Looked each of them in the eye, slowly, deliberately. Then I smiled. Not the angry smile. Not the cocky smile. The quiet, peaceful smile of someone who has already won. I didn't scream. I didn't gloat. I just said 6 words. Soft enough that only they could hear. "I told you I'd make it." And in that moment, every single person who had ever doubted me understood something they would never forget. They hadn't been laughing at my dream. They'd been laughing at how small their own world was. Because while they were busy measuring me by the size of our trailer, I was out there rewriting the laws of gravity. Today I'm a major. I've flown combat missions over Kandahar at night with bullets sparking off the airframe. I've medevaced soldiers who were minutes from death. I've taught the next generation of little girls with big dreams how to pull pitch and defy every single person who told them no. And every time I take off, every single time, I whisper the same thing into my helmet mic that nobody else can hear. This one's for the girl who wasn't supposed to make it. The sky never belonged to the people who were born with silver wings. It belongs to the ones willing to bleed for it. And I bled oceans. So if you're out there right now, broken, laughed at, counted out, listen to me. They can laugh all they want. Just save every single chuckle. Because one day you're going to land a 10-ton helicopter in their front yard. Step out in front of God and the whole world, and give them the only answer that matters. Watch me.